Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Laura Canfield Show. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to be back with all of you. Took a little bit of a break. Had a real vacation, where I don't take my computer with me and I don't do any work. It was great. Got a lot of sun, as you can see. But fun, sun, family, how does it get any better? So we are back, and today we're back with my good friend Bryan Rawls. He's here with us, and he was just, if you are just joining us or if you're wondering what was going on, Bryan was just getting ready for the show and awakening his guides, his tools and instruments, so that we can all be connected in the sacred spirit and the sacred space. So thank you everyone for being here. And Bryan, welcome to the show.
And thank you so much, Alara, and it is always a pleasure to be here. And you may find a few furry ones crawling up on my lap or crawling up on the back of the chair during the show, so I apologize beforehand.
Oh, no, they're more than welcome. They're a contribution, so we will definitely receive from them as well, so thank you. For those of you who may not know Bryan, Bryan, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes.
Little bit about yourself.
Yes, I come from a very long line of very powerful women, and they have brought through many healers, many clairvoyants, many root workers, many magical practitioners, in forms of opening pathways, lighting up pathways, and basically these women were very influential in my life, and have basically allowed for the energy to be passed on to me. And so basically my grandmother and my mom and also my aunt, my grandmother was originally from Romania, and my grandmother, after doing that, came over on the boat to Pennsylvania, had my mom, and then had me. And so basically I was the one that was born with a call, which means that the amniotic, or basically the amniotic sac, was stuck to your forehead, and that's what it means to be born with a call. And my grandmother told my mom that she would have a very special child. So then I started developing around 7 years old, or actually before then, because these beings were present, but it wasn't until about 7 I actually knew what was going on, or kind of comprehended what was going on. So basically, from the age of 7, my grandmother basically started showing me tarot cards, that kind of looked like this, or such, and basically it was one of my duties to tell her what it meant before I left the breakfast table. After I told her what it meant, I could leave the breakfast table and then go to school. And if I didn't tell her what it meant, she would actually personally take me to school and tell the teacher and the principal why I was late. And she always had a very firm hand when teaching her the magical traditions. And basically, I'm here to follow the path, and to basically, what she told my mother was to enlighten folks about the divine feminine, and to really allow for folks to be grounded into the body and really empower and understand themselves in an energetic sense more than in a physical sense, because it's really not even this reality here, this time here in this existence it is just an illusion. It's basically how we perceive things, or how kind of like a hologram is perceived. But as I was growing up, I done nursing, and I was a CNA for 6 years, as well as a LPN. And then the nursing business got a little bit too much for me. So because I would take my problems home, I would take my work home, and when folks would pass away on me, I would have to clock out and go home right along with the family members going home, because it hurt me. Because being sensitive and working in an environment like that is very harsh on the body. And then I heard the call for Spirit, or took the call to work full-time for Spirit. And since 2012, I've been doing what I've been doing and receiving quite interesting information, such as information from the Divine Divas, and also the many galactic beings, as well as also elemental beings, and just the sentient beings that I have met, or I have came across, or I have allowed into my awareness, has really opened up a lot of understanding and ways of perceiving things and ways of perception, because it's all about how the perception is of how a particular object or or situation is basically comes out to be, or is outcome to be. So it's just very interesting how my upbringing has brought me here to working a whole lot with the extraterrestrials, because my grandmother did believe in the extraterrestrials, but she didn't necessarily work as she basically called them the star people. And when she called them the star folks were very few and far between. They weren't talked about a lot.
Right.
And because of folks accusing of witchcraft and accusing of not believing in certain deities or certain things that they're supposed to.
And that's all changing now, thank you.
Exactly.
And so today we're talking about the Divine Divas and the Record of Saharra.
Yes, the Record of Saharra. And I apologize. I do have to apologize when I correct people with that, because she corrects me with that. And she corrected me with that for quite some time. And so basically the Divine Divas are a set of 12, so they say a set of 13 divine beings that will communicate with humanity to teach folks to embody themselves, as well as also raise their conscious vibration, so that ascension is not as difficult as they say the books say they are. Okay, because a lot of folks are reading about this ascension through books, and it's really not even about in the books. It's actually inside the body, because you will find everything that you need to know, that you need to find, that you need to bring into your awareness is inside the body. Okay, so basically the Divine Divas are, 3 of them have been revealed, and then there is, so 3 of them have been revealed. So there is Akash, and then there is Saharra, and then there is Nasira. Okay, so Akash is the record that's been open for thousands of years. Okay, so that record was a record of, or basically a record of creation. Okay, it allowed the energy of our divine creation, or of our creative nature and our sentient self to be created in physical form. Okay, so Akash basically is a being or a goddess that has stepped forward and has basically became a way shower or a personification of the divine feminine. Okay, and remember, it's all about the divine feminine, because that is what we are all here for, is to bring the divine feminine back into power. Okay, because the feminine energies have been out of power for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then the second is Saharra. So Saharra is actually Saharra is a record that stays open for 1 year, and then goes into rain. She wants to call it rain. Okay, she reigns for 1 year, and then she goes into a 33-week slumber period where she slumbers. Okay, where she goes to sleep basically and recharges, and then she'll come out of that slumber while Nasira is in charge, which is what I mean is reigning. Okay, because each for a total of from now until 2028, the rest of the goddesses, or the rest of the feminine personifications, are going to reveal themselves in deeper and more contrast ways, so that humanity is receiving this information up to date, basically. Okay, so basically with Saharra will slumber on December 21st of 2018. Okay, that is when Nasira takes reign. Mm-hmm. And Nasira is spelled K-N-A, that little squiggly line up top, and then the big old S, and then the E-R-A. Okay, and that is Nasira. So let me tell you a little bit about, I don't know exactly what Akash looks like, because Akash hasn't showed me anything, or showed me herself. But Saharra is half lioness and half female body. Nasira is half black panther, half female body. Okay, so there's a trend going on here. Okay, it's about bringing these personifications back into play. So once they are felt in the physical, they release codes and frequency that our bodies remember. Okay, because we have to remember, we are creators, or creator is basically us, or creation. Okay, and then we are creators inside of ourselves, and we are creators by design, and design is what we create. Okay, yeah. So when Nasira takes reign on December 21st of 2018, and she actually will reign until December 21st of 2019. And then that is when the next divine feminine personification will pick up, and Nasira will slumber for a 33-week period. And see, these numbers, the 33-week period, that slumber energy basically allows for them to recoup, basically refeed themselves or re-energize themselves, and then they're coming back into, Saharra likes to say, she says, she's coming back into my current awareness so that I can channel the codes. She says, so I can channel the codes of the Divine Divas to give to the world. Because the Divine Divas is a gift to humanity, not just females, but humanity. Because you got to remember, we're all female first.
Awesome, thank you. And so, so right now, Saharra is raining, right?
Yes, Saharra is raining, and actually, now let me tell you a little bit about this, and let me grab one quick picture because I got to show y'all something. So give me just a second. So folks that have been following me for quite some time, y'all will know my current Stargate, correct?
Yes.
Okay. This Stargate is the Stargate of Akash. Okay. And you see it's in a circle. All right. The Stargate of Saharra is in creation form. Okay. And it is being created and will be revealed very soon. And what they are showing me is they're showing me around the 21st, 25th of August. But they are wanting everyone that is tuning into this show and future shows alike to basically use these tools that are available, and people can receive these tools very simply by actually using the physical using a physical copy. And the Stargate right here, I will actually send you one, Alara, and you can share it with the folks. You can actually set a glass of water or a candle in the middle. It all depends on exactly what element person clicks with. And they can set a glass of water in there, and they can activate the Stargate basically. And then basically the Stargate, what it is it's used as a communication device and a bilocation device. Okay, so it allows for not only you to be here in physicality, but also you to be somewhere else as well. So it's bringing back the ability of bilocation.
Awesome.
Because remember, it's very much possible, because the only person that limits you or that makes things impossible is you. Okay. Sure. And yes, iPad, you got it.
Awesome, thank you. So I'm looking forward to working with Saharra for the next 6 months, right?
Yes, for the next 6 months. She's actually been in my awareness for quite some time. But she says, remember, even though I'm slumbering, when I come back out, I'm still going to be active, because Akash is still active. Saharra is going to be still active. And when Nasira goes to slumber, Nasira will still be active. But she will basically be very well, not difficult. It will be sort of a challenge to invoke her presence. Okay, because by invoking her, there's offerings. I like to give my spirits a glass of water, candlelight, and possibly some fruit or some candy or whatnot. Even shiny things, even things that they loved to hear when they were on this physical plane, if they were ever on this physical plane. It's sort of it's very familiar, like a best friend would, because remember, the spirits that walk with you, they are your best friends. They will never leave your side, and no, you're never alone.
Yeah, that's so true. So true. Thank you. Yeah. And there's a question from Sunny in the chat. She or he, sorry, is asking, how do we use these tools? I feel very connected with the Black Panthers and the Lionesses energy. Why is that?
Okay, so basically with okay, so folks that are very connected with the lion energy or the lioness energy, they are courageous at heart, but also are a part of the Saharra ground crew. Okay, this is when they awaken. All right, this is their awakening period, or their enlightenment period. Okay. Then there are going to be folks that are a part of the Book of Nasira ground crew. Okay, and then that is when they will be awakened. That's when their perception will be changed. That's when their perceiving of the personification of how Nasira shows herself is going to manifest for them. And with folks that are connected to the both, basically you're basically riding on the lines, and there are just as folks can have a hybridization of starseed lineages within themselves. It's just you can have hybrid types of crews that you're a part of, because there's and remember, essentially, folks, these are all just titles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because these titles are basically something to make things sound fancy, I guess you would say. It's to complement our vocabulary, all right, or to complement our realm or our world. And with that, okay, so Saharra is so Saharra is saying, so we're going to invite some of her energy. We're going to invite her energy in, and we are also going to basically see if she'll manifest, because at times she will manifest as like glowing lights, or like a kind of like a sparkle.
Mm-hmm.
And it will be very faint, and some may see it, some may not see it. It all depends. And she also says that we are going to go into a small update of codes for the Saharra Stargate. Okay, so just take some deep breaths in, and we are going to go ahead and bring through this energy.
Orem besira kono urim inakiata arast. Vero oram idede astore pendo kukumbayete learo condori andaeni anore ambayestesiatori andaiok. Vino no marande hino kundele orambao anut. Durambeo coramborimbeo Bayano rembe qua asandu Ido remba ua agran eshan Rimeneo coramborimbeo rembaor Zendolo shinare sepoko uram Vedo kuya na yosesi atais Rejore ambai hokunde lewa arando O corembe ho andorias. Hidorembe ho remba ho. Zenurimbe loriandaon. Viririambe hiroriandaor. Orambae serende hero coreamor. Oramba oriandai he oriandai or. Wana one oramba or. Isasino ore te chiama. Jevoto oreste siano ko oribani. Dele harane he kesto oraste. Dorembe que skin arraste sende eleo rambais. Vida de rabaya de cuando. Rosho doko urame hesianaki. Dede ano rapa takiande ele sesori nemo kumbaye te nyano ramba o no koreanda wan. Desto sunish katirina main. Rebakat kurem estandolo reabayadu. Vitano urashandayas. Besandele heseto kurambi hinewa. Quande ele surrea dayeno. Rimbeso kutore andaor. Eto sore beno undela quano rembele or. Orembele sedo corembele leor. Pero rodombele leane orembele assassine kishkaturi che mattieno cocote elas. Vedo come curindele se si cocotorore stambo woku de la moi. La guarro cute anas. Fidele che andò curembele wa kudo yastanduris. Distandolo curembele asawa. Zawa, zala kiash. Dele sendolo cura kamayet. E sandolo ukushkan. Eto sorrite pamogur. Ida no rete siedo kum. Rashano ku sedo ku urembe keno ku urata ayaste sinu. Ewa nakau. Rasheno uraste asahin. Vidanaya ne kembure beno saharineon. Sahara kamin. Sahara kaidor. Sahara na horamba horanda heok. Ita sita kure embele siada ashana kur. Pero rembela la ine casido. Remo curamba hedero real. Valore seno kumao riti. Rara kisero koroko riao. Ramba kiata hija de sianor. Pere no mokori bawa. Dele sesiono gosh. Pide nenea karete senuri ku umayen. Dele awa anda urikine ko arasta siano rapa. Benede ku une miara. Da nur imbele sesiono rapaka ao.
And deep breath in. And bring that energy up and through your root chakra, in through your sacral, up through your solar, in through your heart, into your throat, into your third eye, into the back of the head, well of dreams, up and out the crown chakra, doubling back into the fourth eye where your head was soft when you were a baby, beaming down into the pineal gland, all the way down the Shushumna, activating the 8 cell blueprint at the perineum. And deep breath in. Okay, so how is everyone doing? You got some energy shifting, Alara.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Oh my goodness. It's like I'm like sweating now from just that. You know, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, I almost lost my voice there for a minute.
No, that was pretty intense. That was really intense. And it's like, yeah, I don't even know. I just know that when you started to bring up the energy, it's like I could feel the heat coming up through my entire being, for each chakra. Just like, wow, so much. It's like,
yeah, and it's funny because when I channel, I just move out of the way and I step to the side. And what I'm seeing, or what I saw, was what came through is it looks like a tribal Asiatic man. Mm-hmm. And he basically yelled Sahara, and that basically it almost felt like it was me there for a minute, summoning her or calling upon her. But do note that it's not necessarily where you have to summon her the same way I do. She is available to everyone, and she basically can be she can be brought through just by thanking her name. And just by thanking her name, it opens up.
Saharra.
Yes, Saharra.
Saharra. And so why would we invite her in?
So Saharra is going to help with the many shifts that are going on the planet at these times, and especially since a lot of our seasons are blending together. Mm-hmm. A lot of our you're seeing animals not being used to the changing of the weather. You're seeing people not being used to the changing of the weather, people getting sick. Mm-hmm. I want you to essentially think of the grandmother spirit when thinking of Saharra, and when thinking of all of these divine feminine personifications. Because if I would have to kind of put them side by side with with a particular council or group that is actually known and upon the planet now. I would say the grandmothers, the 13 grandmothers, and they're very similar. But think of what a grandmother does. A grandmother basically is basically the matriarch.
Mm-hmm.
She's the matriarch of the family. She's the glue. She's the glue that keeps you together. I know my grandmother always was the apple of my eye, because it was never mama. It was more like ma. That's what I called my grandma. Ma. And it basically stuck. And I do note that that maybe Saharra and Nasira and Akash may not come to you directly and looking like a grandmother form to you, but essentially that's what their energy feels like. And that is basically what I believe is divine feminine energy, is the I guess you would say the caring, the honest, the loving, the comforting, and the very genuine grandmother feel. Almost like the smell of a nice homemade baked apple pie.
Mm-hmm.
And that would bring back so many memories. And also it's and with each person, these may give you a different feel, but it's all going to be positive, because they cannot damage anyone's lives. The main offering that I would give each of the spirits or each of the personifications of the divine feminine is I would give them a candlelight and a glass of water. They always say spirits are thirsty, and they always said, well, my grandmother always told me spirits are thirsty, and then they always said the candle way lights your crossroads, because if you think of it, we are each at a crossroads in our life, because of the simple reason we have our love direction, we have our financial direction, we have our career direction, and we have our spiritual direction. And those are the 4 crossroads that mostly everybody asks about.
So speaking of that was one of the gifts that you offer to the community. So I'm glad you're talking about it, because I gave them the link to the picture. It's an activated, infused image. It's not just an image, right? So it's an activated and infused image. And what can people do with that?
Well, people can use that as a kind of like a gazing, almost like similar how you would gaze into a crystal.
Mm-hmm.
This will dissolve anything in your path. It will dissolve anything negative that is standing in between a mother and a child, or a person and another person. Just as long as that is for the highest good and best of all. Okay, and do know that none of my creations can harm an individual, and if it is ever attempted to think about harming an individual, the image or the energy of something that I create shuts down. So it's basically energy can be self-programmed, very simply. Okay?
Yes.
We are smarter than what we think. Okay,
Awesome.
we are so. I think that schools need to definitely bring in energy, energy comprehension, because it definitely needs to come back, because we all can sense energy one way or another.
Yep, always. It's true. We're just not aware of what it is that we're sensing sometimes, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I will tell you, a lot of people think that that folks like that are sensitive and all that good stuff are very vulnerable and are freaks of nature. I will tell you, I am no freak of nature. I am definitely very, very open-minded, and that is the way to approach spirituality. Because one very wonderful lady once said, "What may work for you may not work for another."
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so always know that each person is an individual. So, say for instance, one path may work totally different for you than what it does for me or you.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
never be afraid of being yourself, because that is essentially, at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you are 100% you. You can, I mean, if you look at it, I mean, I've always told everyone, if you look at it, always don't ever have any expectations about how things are supposed to be or how things are, because you never know how long you're going to be playing this video game.
Mm-hmm. And it is a video game. It's all just a game. It's it's not really real.
Exactly. And we are a figment of another person's imagination at times. And if you think about it, and I bet you probably some star seed on another planet is probably learning about us as well.
You know what? Anything is possible, right?
Exactly. Anything's possible. I mean, and they are talking about colonizing a planet here soon. So definitely understand that the predictions and the prophecies that have been foresaw are definitely coming about. And I will tell you that all the ancient texts are very, very important books. I would recommend that you have at least one of every copy of the holy books of basically all religions,
Mm-hmm.
to the simple reason that a lot of it's being lost. And that's what a lot of people are trying to remember.
Interesting. Good to know. Thank you for that. Yeah, absolutely. And there's wisdom in each and every one.
Yes, most definitely. And one of the very fine books of many people and that many people love is the Holy Bible.
Mm-hmm.
And I know personally that Bible can be used for both good and bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I will tell you, there's some powerful stuff in there. Just make sure that you know what you're doing with it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Thank you. And people don't always think of that, that anyways, that's another topic for another day.
Yes.
But I wanted to talk also about the other gift that you gifted us, which was the Lunar Eclipse
Yes.
activation and meditation.
Okay, so basically the lunar eclipse was at Aquarius, or was in Aquarian at 4 degrees, arc short of 44. Okay, so if you look at that, that's a divine number, and the number 44 basically means that it's almost like there's a beginning, or not necessarily a beginning, but more like there's beings that are around you that are trying to get your attention. There's things that are basically there's aha moments, there's synchronicities.
Mm-hmm.
So what this lunar eclipse transmission is going to do, not only just give you updates and activate more of your, or give you upgrades to your third eye, your fourth eye, and your well of dreams, as well as also your visual cortex, but is also going to allow for you to receive the first and second set of the Saharra codes. Okay, so there has been Saharra codes from the winter season. There's been Saharra codes from the spring season. There's going to be Saharra codes from the autumn, and then the next winter season. So there's 4 codes. Four, I call them packets of information.
Mm-hmm.
Packets of information with each of the Divine Divas. So the lunar eclipse, and especially during the eclipse times, is when these codes or these packets of information are going to be downloaded. Not all of them, but at least 2 major packets. Okay, and basically what's going to happen is you will see codes kind of line up on the Shushumna, basically.
Mm-hmm.
That will kind of look like, I guess you would say, a little coat of arms, like how, like, say, if anybody's ever seen like the surnames of or the king coat of arms of surnames and stuff, it'll kind of look like little symbols like that, and they'll line up on the Shushumna, and this is with the lunar eclipse transmission. And these are the Saharra codes, and what the Saharra codes do is they code the body to remember how to communicate back with the divine feminine. Because if you look in ancient texts, you will see that we were basically cut off from communication with the divine feminine due to what some folks call ignorance, then what other folks call blasphemy. Okay, and I just call it just plain stupid. And that's just my opinion. But it links you back to the code of divine feminine and allows you that energy back into your awareness, and to understand that we all are female to begin with. So we all are empowered. We all are creative. We all are creation by design. Okay? And design is what we create.
Awesome. So those were the 2 free gifts that you gifted us, and you also have some special offers that I want to talk about, and then we're going to take some questions. We have quite a few questions from people that they've written in the chat. So I just want to talk about the special offers really quickly first. So if you're on the live page, you can just click on special offer, and if you're not, you can go to laura.at/show/Bryan, Bryan. And so you have 3 packages, right, Bryan? Package A, B, and C.
Yes.
Which is, a combination of like an intuitive reading Q&A session and a aura and chakra clearing. So can you just talk a little bit about what those are?
Okay. So the aura and chakra clearing basically is it's a 30-minute process where I run through your chakras, and I run from root to crown, and I spend at least a minute or 2, maybe 5 minutes, anywhere from a minute to 5 minutes at each spot, and I clear oaths, vows, contracts, and commitments and obligations, limitations, anything that's standing in your way. I clear it out, and basically bring that energy back into the now. Okay, because a lot of the root energy is in the past. Okay, so the next thing I do is I follow up through the chakras, yada yada yada, and then I set you up for a 24-hour aura cleanse, which basically from the sides of your body, from like skin out, there is layers upon layers of your aura. And all of this is basically set up with the lunar and the solar energies, which is set up for 24 hours, where over a 24-hour period, so it's not so harsh on you. The energy basically, well, I set it up and the energy basically kind of scrapes your aura clean. It's almost like a aura rake, for lack of a better word. And then within, and then basically with that, that's the chakra and aura cleanse. And then with a reading with me, which basically with the reading, with the reading with me, you can ask anything about the crossroads in your life, such as your financial crossroad, or your financial road, your love road, your spiritual road, or your career road. You can also receive activations in readings. You can also receive codes in readings that specifically you need. You can also receive some work that is needed, or any recommendations of work that is needed, or you could also receive universal wisdom, or teachings of how to venerate or worship, or receive a particular spirit. I even also have at times gifted a particular animal spirit, or animal spirit guides, such as dragons and also owls. I've actually gifted a dragon as a spirit guide before, and also gifted a owl as a spirit guide before. And so basically it kind of goes along with what your energy specifically needs.
Awesome. And the personal session, or the intuitive reading Q&A session, can be either 30 minutes, 60 minutes, or 2 60-minute sessions.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you. So those are available again at alara.at/show/Bryan. And the links will be in the email as well. And yeah, so please take a look at that, see which one resonates with you, and choose accordingly. You will not be disappointed, that's for sure. So I have a question here from, I think it's Paula, and she's saying, can you please tell me what my home planet is? I seem to connect with the Pleiades and the Arcturians. Is there another one that I'm connected with? She also said that she's had a few sessions with you, and she never asked about her star family. So what star family does she belong to?
Okay, so let's find out, and I'm gonna see if I cannot at least get a name, but if I cannot get a name, I'll at least get a description of it, okay? So let me see, and I'm just going to whisper your question real quick to my tool. Okay, so what is being shown? So this is my identification for Pleione. Okay, Pleione is actually a Pleiadian star, and it is very much a It's very much very Pleiadian in style. You want to think of the you want to think of the tall beings if folks are familiar with Pleiadians, but there are the seven sister stars of Pleiades, and Pleione is one of them, and then there is Alcyone, and then there's Alcyone, Clone, Taijeta, and there's a few more, like 4 more, and they slip my mind, but it's definitely from the Pleiadian constellation, most definitely. And you might have also been up on ships in quite a few lifetimes, but your home planet looks to me like it is Pleione.
Awesome. Thank you. So, Paula, hopefully that helps and resonates with you. Just let us know. Type it in the chat. And then I have a question from Maria Cruz. She says, can you tell me a little bit about what is my highest mission or how to step into it? Am I a starseed? That's 3 questions, and they're all big ones.
All right, so I am going to answer how you can connect more with your purpose, because I would like for you to refrain all purpose questions and try to refrain all star family or star family and places where you're from, to try to refrain that to the readings, because that really takes a lot of energy. So let's ask some questions possibly that will help everybody. So one thing about connection with your purpose, you will want to make sure that you embody yourself, because embodying, and what I mean by embodying is you want to make sure that you're here in your body, because there are many times when you will pop out of the body and go elsewhere, and you very well can definitely pop out every now and then, but you want to essentially stay in the body and make sure that you are grounded, because what happens if you don't stay in the ground or stay grounded, you basically start losing your mojo, losing your light, or your light starts getting dim. So basically with that, you'll have to do work to raise your spiritual vibration and raise your light again, and that's basically a lot of work, is to relight your flame, because once the flame starts getting low, that's when you really start to feel exhausted, and you really feel like you have no direction. So the one thing I would recommend you do is get you a glass of water, a candle, and sit down with your ancestors or your spirits and ask, say, creator of all that is, or spirits, or Mother, Father, God, my guides, the angels, and all the beings of light from on high, I command for you to give me direction, lead me, guide me, and protect me. Basically ask them for help, because remember, they got to, you got to ask them for assistance. They're not going to read your mind. They are going to respect your privacy. And also another thing is make sure that you're grounded, because being grounded is definitely that. It's definitely that essential thing that keeps your mojo high, okay, or keeps your flame high. But what I am going to do is I am going to throw one bone for you and see exactly what I get. So, ese fish kotor atakasa. Okay, so you got the seashell, so you need to connect more with water, and also you have a lot of water spirits around you, and also I would highly recommend that you give offerings to your nearest body of water. It will open up some fluidity in your life. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you. So that was for Maria Cruz. So Maria, let us know how that was for you. And I have a question. Since we were talking about grounding, Destiny has a question about feeling hard time grounding right now. Any tips on how to fully ground with these heavy energies?
Okay, so let's go ahead and do a grounding activation.
Awesome.
So now just drop down into your root chakra. Focus on the drum.
Pero corre shanine keso uremia. Pero horem hele candele sisiadoram. Vide barocco redenuram aune candolori canda eliari. Zero horem belesterugum. Beoaram hawanurem belestesiano rekash. Videre aromo cundele stesina casteno, vedo arrapatanu cundele stesina kid. Rimaro, narim, era quiero coramba orembele oremba orendele honamaon. Venoremba orente sinoramorikendele heoramor. Vinumo kundele sesiarambahin de la orambeles orambao.
And deep breath in. And allowing that energy to flow. Okay. 5 miles down, 5 miles out. All the way down. Anchoring in. And then coming back up. And deep breath in. And open your eyes. Okay.
Wow, thank you. And then Pam is asking a question around offerings, about what offerings do you give to the water?
Well, the offerings that you give to, like the waters, well, you got many water spirits that, like melons, like watermelon. You can give cantaloupe. You can give honeydew melon. You can float grapes out. I've even floated a banana out before. You can also, one fine thing that they enjoy is if you go to like I guess you would say, well, if you have like a river by, or if you can't find a river bed, you can find these little pebbles or these little river stones. They love river stones. Throw you a couple river stones in the water. And also, there have been some spirits that like to receive little, well, basically they are what they call little paper boats. Some folks do paper boats. Also, with the little tea light in it or a little light in it. And then also, now I know some Caribbean folks do coconut water at the beaches, or to La Sarine, which is what they call a mermaid spirit, or Me'agwe, which is what they call a captain spirit, which is a captain of a boat, which you offer him the little sinkers that you buy from like to go fishing. You buy him little sinkers. And then Mami Watas, or Mami Wata, which is really Mama Water. Is what we call, or what my grandma used to call, the river, or the water that she would cross over. She'd call it Mami Wata. And she would basically pluck off flower heads and throw the flower heads at folks, or at the spirits, basically, because she could see just like I do. But there's many offerings that you can give the sea. Even honey is good. Honey for the sea, or molasses. A lot of ADRs do molasses or honey, but it all depends on exactly what spirits are with you, or basically what you connect with.
Awesome. Thank you. Let's see what else is, if there's anything general that's coming up. What about if you're feeling a lot of pain in your body?
Okay, so this year has been a lot of compression. Okay, there's been a lot of compression, kind of like compression against the joints. One thing I would recommend, make sure you do silica. And if you can't find a silica in you can do liquid form, pill form, or even diatomaceous earth form. But you want to get food grade, okay? Food grade diatomaceous earth, and that will help because that has a high content of silica in it. And a lot of people suffer from silica burnout, which basically makes you lethargic and ick. And basically, silica is the starseed antidepressant, or what I call the starseed antidepressant, because it keeps me afloat. But every starseed needs extra vitamin D, magnesium, and also silica. All right. Those are the three main things that you need if you are a light worker, way shower, energy worker, spiritual worker, whatever you want to call yourself. You need silica, magnesium, and vitamin D. and then possibly even vitamin B to keep up.
Awesome. And then Penny's asking, I have noticed more people having eyesight issues the past few years. Is this related in any way to these new energies coming in?
Yes, a lot of folks are receiving a lot of eye upgrades and downloads and uploads and whatever loads you want to call them. There's so many that are coming in, especially around the eye area, due to our perceptions changing, how we see things are changing. Because if you look at it, we are starting to see basically culture speed up as well, and we're seeing a lot of different change as the energy quickens, and that's basically what's happening. Essentially, is we are moving faster, we're going faster, and we're getting even faster. And that is the reason why time seems like it's flying. That is the reason why the seasons are blending together, and why you're seeing in some places there's over 100-degree weather, and some places there's like ice cubes floating around on the water. I mean, there's so many different things that basically line up here. And a good book in one of those ancient texts that I've spoke about is the Book of Revelations. If you look in the Book of Revelations, there's a bunch of prophecies that are true. And obviously if you read them, you have some interpretation to do with them, because they're not meant they're understood differently in our language or in our understanding. So check that out, because that will give you a lot of heads up of some of the prophecies that are coming about, as well as also a lot of some of the beliefs that need to be cleared, because a lot of the things that you will find that really needs to be cleared, you will find around you, or you will find in your space.
Awesome, thank you. And if you have, as you've noticed, Bryan has tons of information, tons of tools, tons of different activations and processes that he shares, very freely with everyone. So if you do get one of the special offers and have a personal, session with Bryan, whether it's 30 minutes or 60 minutes or 260 minutes, know that you're going to be getting more than just information. You're going to get tools and things you can use practically, in your life, in your ascension, and for whatever is going on with your life right now, right?
Yes, most definitely. You will get abundant of things.
Absolutely. So please do take a look at the special offers that are available that Bryan has for us at alara.at/show/Bryan. And, I've had sessions with Bryan. Paula said she's had several sessions with Bryan. And even, I don't know why I said Reverend, but maybe you're Reverend. And I just but Randy also says, wonderful things about Bryan. He's so authentic and real, and, he knows a lot, right? So please do take advantage of that. Do what works for you. Choose for you, right? And go back and listen to or watch this again. But before we go, I just wanted to ask, because, I'm just like that. So because we were talking about Saharra and Akash and Nasira, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do either of them or any of them have a last closing message for us?
Yes. Saharra says, if if anything, she says, light her a candle and give her a glass of water, and she will lead you, guide you, and protect you. Okay? Second off, she's saying, lead by example, and also to pay it forward. And what she means by pay it forward is do your good deed for the day, because a good deed opens up your pathways or opens up your crossroads. Okay? And understand that there may be mud puddles or branches or rocks in the middle of your crossroads, but know that your gatekeeper or the spirits that walk with you and Saharra, because she said she will remove these blocks and remove these limitations from you as well. All you have to do is ask. And asking is one thing you must do, because she says the energy of free will, she can't butt in without you inviting. All right, and she also says, activate the creativity center, because we are creation by design. And design is what we create. And just a little, I guess you would say a little hint of what I mean. Look behind you, Alara.
Yep.
Okay? That right there is basically a template. Okay? It's a template. And that template is what she means by design.
Yeah.
Okay? But she also has one last thing for you all, and she says, do not hesitate to ask questions, because what happens when you ask questions, it allows her, or allows all the Divine Divas, more energy to come forth to basically speak or to communicate with them. Because if you believe about them, or if it takes belief to basically make things concrete. All right, and if you ask for help from them, if you ask, or if you call them by name, or if you basically request their help, they will come and they will help you. And they also want you to understand that it is all about what makes you feel, basically what makes you feel comfortable inside. Because at the end of the day, it's you that basically have to go to sleep at night. That's basically what she's trying to say. And also, she says, remember when you ask a question that it may not sound like me, it will probably sound like you, but that change of perception of voice will come. All right, so know that it's going to sound like you, or your intuition's going to sound like you first. And then it will make change once you start trusting it, because trusting makes it more clear and gives it a personification. Because because how a lot of people are wired is if you start hearing many different voices inside your head, they're automatically going to think one thing: oh, I'm crazy. So what are they going to do? Go to the doctor. So you want to make sure that you always listen to that small, still voice inside your head, even if it sounds like you.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much, Saharra. Really appreciate the wisdom and the teachings, and these reminders of ask for help, ask for support, and that we are never ever ever alone. So thank you for that.
And she says you're welcome. And I would like to thank everyone for allowing me to speak to everyone, and for allowing me to present the Divine Divas to you all. And do know that I will definitely be back. And I appreciate everything, or I appreciate all of the questions, and I appreciate all of the interesting situations everyone had for me.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And, it's always so much fun having you on the show, Bryan. And this time is the first time that we did on video. So, it's even more fun, even more interactive. I loved it. So thank you so much. And thank you, everyone, for being on the call. Thank you, whether you're here live or whether you're going to watch or listen to us later. Thank you so much. And until next time, continue to live your life filled with joy, peace, love, abundance, and happiness. Sending you all much love and blessings always. Bye.
Let angel wings guide your dreams. Blessed be, and namaste.
Am I sending the info inside the email? Yes, there will be more info inside the email, and Bryan's going to send me something else to send in the email as well. So yes, stay tuned. Bye for now.